Hi, so I'm Kay Sidebottom. I'm lecturer in childhood and education at Leeds Beckett University and course leader for the BA degree in innovation and skills for social change.
Hi, I'm Harsha Patel and I'm Managing Director of Doing Social, and I am course partner for the same degree. So welcome to this webinar. Doing Social and the Carnegie School of Education are partnering on a bachelor's degree called BA Innovation and Skills for Social Change. Both Kay and I are working together to offer the best experience to our students so they can graduate with the capabilities they need to be great change makers and leaders in different areas of social change. The title of this event is A Compassion-Led Partnership for a Kinder Curriculum. And we want to use this space to discuss what we think makes this a compassion-led partnership, and what we mean, to talk about what we mean by a kinder curriculum. As part of that, we want to think about what we bring to this individually in terms of our own values, experiences, and aspirations. So Kay and I will also reflect on how the themes of compassion, kindness, and well-being resonate with us. So Kay is going to start by providing a really brief overview of the course. We're then going to have a discussion, so a bit of a Q&A between us about the course and about the three themes of compassion, kindness, and well-being, and how they resonate with us personally and professionally. So over to you, Kay.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is a degree that is very much about the times, I think. It's aimed at people who want to transform society in some way. We badge it as people who want to change the world, which sounds quite grand, but actually, why not? And it's the first degree of this kind in the UK. I don't know about any other course like this. It's really for people who want to make a difference to a community, which might be a local thing, it could be a global thing, and any intersections of those two. It's about exploring social issues such as poverty, inequality, mental health, climate change, pandemic, of course, very topical, and the connections between these things, which are often seen as separate but are very much connected. It's very practical. It's a practical degree. It's based around real life projects and innovative interventions. And it's about building and sustaining capacity in communities so that the work can carry on growing, with the theoretical knowledge underpinning that as well. So it will have economics, philosophy, politics, and all those kind of things as well. And I'm going to ask you, Harsha, now, just to tell us a little bit about the background to the course, because you're the kind of way that it all came about. So tell us how that happened.
Yeah, so this was such a pleasure to be part of. Early in 2017, Carnegie School of Education, specifically Professor Damien Page, who is the Dean of the School of Education, approached Doing Social and asked us whether we would be interested in partnering on this degree in social change. And Doing Social is an organisation, it's a not-for-profit organisation that has been set up to create the conditions for inclusive innovation in the UK. And what we mean by that is that individuals from underserved communities lead the solutions that are intended to improve their life chances. And so for us, we were really interested in looking at how we could lead a process that would engage people from the ground up in the development of this degree. So the Dean, Damien, agreed to an experimental process, a co-design and learning process. And so we embarked on this very organic journey, and it was really interesting and quite exciting, because we hadn't really planned in detail what this would look like, and it was very much informed. The co-creation was co-created with the first three focus groups that we ran, and we engaged in those focus group workshops. We engaged frontline practitioners, we engaged sixth form students, and we engaged community members and teachers, and they informed the next stage of the process, which was an online survey. And in total 120 people from around the country engaged in this process. And we then brought together an advisory group of some of those participants, and they helped to shape the degree, and it was validated in November 2017, and it's been launched this year. In the next few weeks we've got our very first cohort. So yeah, that's the background to the degree. So I have a question for you now, Kay. So what would you say are the unique features of this course?
I think it pushes the boundaries a bit, I think, of what academic study is all about. It has a process of continuous assessment, so there's no exams. I just think it's really important, actually, for people that their work will kind of be recognised and acknowledged all the way through the course, and that is through ongoing project work, which might be based in community projects that people are involved in. It might be ongoing pieces of reflection, so it allows people to build up skills and knowledge over the course of the 3 years, and that's all valid. So I think that's brilliant. The co-production element, the co-creation is really important, and as the course runs, as it goes live, there will be a big element of that which is about students inputting and co-producing this as it goes along. So it isn't like a bunch of academics saying we know this. It's about people bringing their own wealth of community knowledge and experience to the table, again, which you don't often see, which is great. So it's about building on people's own knowledge and experience. So yeah, it is very much, I think, a challenge to traditional formats. There's lots of experiential opportunities to actually go out and work with different groups, with different people. There's a whole wealth of experienced practitioners, the kind of people that you would really want to pitch up and listen to, that are going to come and teach for us through the partnership. So that's just a few things, but there's loads more to say probably on that.
Thanks, Kay.
Oh, go on, no, carry on.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Another question for you. Who is this degree for?
It's for anybody, and I mean that sort of literally, really. It is for anybody. It's not, sometimes people think about university being aimed and pitched around 18-year-olds, and this is a degree that really is wide open to anyone who wants to access it. So we've been very careful about the way we've planned teaching to be quite flexible. There's obviously lots online at the moment, which makes sense around the whole pandemic issue, but there's different opportunities to engage depending on people's needs and where they're based and what kind of other life issues they have to work around study. So it's for people who are maybe already involved in community work, or for people who have activist interests that they want to pursue. It might be people who are coming out of college and thinking, I want a degree that actually means something, that's actually going to make some real life change. Or it could be mature students who have been out of education for many, many years and are thinking, this is now my chance to study at degree level. So I think whatever people's interests are, there will be an angle. So it is for anybody.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
What excites you most about the degree, Harsha? Lots, I should imagine. But what out of all of the exciting things excites you the most?
We're creating some amazing opportunities for students, and you know, I would love to shout from the top of the roof about what those opportunities are, and because I know that had this degree been available when I was younger, I would have certainly taken it. And there's so many people that say the same thing to me. That excites me, that it's a degree that I would do. I would love to have studied, and that other people feel the same way. I feel like this is I feel like we've got this right, and I feel that we're putting so much into this in terms of our love and energy and our care for wanting to change the world, but also enable others to change the world. And I think that what we can achieve through this degree is just, yeah, I can't even describe it. I can't even describe it. And I think both of us individually and collectively can bring so much to it, because we are so genuinely passionate about social justice and social change ourselves. And I think that really excites me. So the partnership and the fact that I know this is going to be a damn good degree. How about you? What excites you about this degree?
Very similar, I think. It's the kind of thing I would have loved to have done. I think I love the bringing together of theory and practice. So the fact that you could be studying an aspect of social inequality or social injustice and seeing the real life scenario of that, thinking of ways to innovate and things to do to kind of improve situations, but also underpinning that with the theoretical knowledge. That really interests me, because I think that adds power, that can lend power to people's work. The activist element, that excites me as someone who is very passionate about making change. So the fact that it is very much about going out and doing something. It's not just about sitting around reading a book. It's about saying, actually, this is what we're going to do. I suppose the potential to make some really exciting networks, not just local, but global networks with other people across the world who are wanting to do similar things, and all the digital ways that that can be done these days is really exciting. Things can move very, very quickly, and change can happen very quickly, as we've seen with things like Black Lives Matter. So kind of drawing on the energy, the kind of positive energy from the future, and bringing that energy to bear on what we're doing practically today. I think that's really exciting.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so I'll ask you the next question, which is, why do you think students should join this course?
I think there's something very much about the current times that makes it pertinent. That isn't to say that we haven't always needed work like this, and work like this hasn't always happened, but I think we're reaching tipping points in all kinds of different situations. And I think lots of people will feel the same, that actually it's time to act and it's time to gain knowledge in order to be able to do that. So I think that's one of the things that sets this course apart, is that emphasis on social action. And I think I suppose the way that it's been put together is very different, in that it's the chance to hear from a whole wealth of different perspectives and diverse perspectives, actually, whereas very often with courses you get channeled into you'll hear a few different voices, but you won't hear a plethora of knowledge and experience that the practitioners are bringing. So that's what I would say. How about you?
Yeah, you can't read it, but it says leaders and change makers recommend this degree. And we have so many leaders, and we've had endorsement statements from leaders, and some of these people have been involved in the co-design process as well. And these are individuals that have also said, yes, we would love to employ some of your students as well. So there are real opportunities out there for students who want to be change makers and leaders. And because some of these people have been involved in the co-design process, and some of them are delivering on it as well, and others besides, they're aware of what this content looks like and what it could mean for graduates of this course, and the sorts of skills and capabilities they'll leave with. We're getting students to think quite hard about their career pathway, and all these practitioners that are coming in, I'm asking them all to spend 15 to 20 minutes just talking about their journey, because each one will have had a very unique journey into where they are now, and they'll be able to talk about the role that they're in. And so hopefully that will open students' eyes up to the different sorts of roles that are out there. So students should join this course because of the employment pathways, and because it's such a unique course, and because we need the world needs better leaders and more change makers.
Cool.
So the next question for you is, what do you think are the sorts of jobs, and I suppose it's just following on from what we've just been talking about, what are the sorts of jobs and roles that you think students might be able to undertake with this degree?
Yeah, I think one of the real values of the way this has been structured and designed is that emphasis on those kind of, I don't particularly like the word employability, to be honest, but it's those kind of skills around collaboration, creativity and innovation, teamwork, and all those kind of really important things that employers are interested in, that generic offer, which I think be very, very valuable. And in terms of kind of specific career paths, as you've said, I think it's quite wide open. I mean, I would say anything involving kind of project working, project skills is in there. Anything obviously around charitable community work, youth work, anything with a social purpose element would be an obvious route for people to go down. Politics, so local government, national politics. Education, of course, as well, and training. So I think there's lots of chances, and I'm like you, I'm really interested in the way that people will be encouraged and assisted in helping set up their own innovations in terms of their own social enterprises and things like that, because I think again that is something that we're going to be seeing lots more of, and opportunities are going to be opening up a lot for people to do much more of their own thing in regards to employment.
Fantastic. What does it mean to you, these words, kinder curriculum? What does that mean?
Kindness is interesting for me because I think kindness comes with an element of criticality, actually. It includes awareness, it includes being recognizing things, it includes thinking about inequalities. All of those things are embedded in kindness for me. So a curriculum that's kind isn't about a glossy layer of offer that looks good for a potential employer or a potential student. It's not about that. A kind curriculum to me is one that is actually designed with students at the heart of it, and isn't just designed for them, but is designed with them. And that witness continues to build as the curriculum builds. So students are at the heart of it in many ways. And I think one of the things that we'll certainly start with on this course, is an emphasis on values, and having people think about what their own values are, what they bring to the course in terms of values and ethics, and making sure that everybody's voice is recognised in that sense. So everyone feels that they've entered the room, that they have a voice, and that any difference, be it in any kind of diversity, any difference in experience, any difference in identity, is not just kind of recognised, but is actually celebrated and promoted. So those things, yeah, they're the kind things for me. How about for you?
Oh, I love that. I don't know how I can follow that, Kate. I agree with everything you've said. I guess, I mean, for us, it started with, as you've highlighted, the way that the course was designed. It just felt, certainly for me, that it needed to be authentic, or don't bother. You know, if we're talking about co-creation and doing things from the bottom up, then that for me is about listening. And what was really interesting, and I don't get to share this story very often, and perhaps I'll do that here, is that during the first focus group session, within I think 10 minutes of the discussion, I'd switched off my PowerPoint and I really began to listen. And that was a lesson for me in humility. And it really shook me, actually, because it made me realize how much power I actually had. And that frightened me, that I had the power to shape this in however I wanted it. You know, this could be whatever I wanted it to be. This could be whatever the university wanted it to be. But to actually co-create authentically, I had to switch off my own ideas about what this needed to be, and just listen. And for me, that was the my real first understanding of the power that I had. And it was scary for me, because I thought, gosh, if I've got this much power, what about everyone else then? What about other people that have to make these decisions all the time? Do they think it through in this way? And, you know, because these are the decisions that we made about this course are going to change people's lives, because they're going to change the lives of the students that are on this course, and they're going to change the lives of the people that benefit from the support and the contribution that is made by the change makers that come through this course, that graduate through this course. So for me, I had to reflect, actually, really quite hard on my own sense of power, and it was an emotional process for me. And when it really when I put my own, I suppose, my own ego aside, and I started to listen, I started to hear what I needed to do in order for this to actually lead to social justice outcomes. And so I made a promise to myself that I was going to deliver as much as I could from what people had told me, and this had to matter. This had to be whatever it needed to be. And so the process was organic, and I have to say, had it not been, I don't know if any other dean would have been as patient, if I'm honest. And Damien was really patient through this process, because, you know, there was no quick wins here. It needed to take the time it needed. And so it took several months, and there were lots of discussions and lots of compromises that were made. And I think that, you know, the initial ideas that we had changed quite drastically, from the title through to the shape of it. And we brought in voices that wouldn't normally have the opportunity to be heard on this, and they were listened to. And I feel really proud of that. I feel proud of the university, and I guess of doing social as well, for listening authentically. So I think a kinder curriculum starts with listening, recognizing the power that we hold, being humble, and then keeping to our word. And actually, as you said, when you answered the question, putting the student right at the center. How do the themes of compassion, kindness, and well-being resonate with you on a personal and a professional level?
I think this festival, I think, is really important, and it's coming at a really important time, because compassion, kindness, well-being, those are things that are at the forefront of our minds, aren't they, at the moment, particularly during lockdown and coming in and out of lockdown and all of that kind of thing. So I think compassion, kindness, well-being, there's different layers to it. There's the kindness and compassion for yourself, and that appreciation that, you know, everyone's going through difficult times and different issues and all of that, and that notion of being kind to yourself, I think, is really important. There's the sort of layer of your sort of immediate family, and, you know, how they sometimes face the brunt of not doing that. They're the ones who are most impacted by that. So again, in a very unusual situation of being forced into spending much more time at home, that's been really important. And then I suppose the wider scope of being kind and compassionate. And I guess for me, again, it's thinking about networks and people that I come into contact with at work or on social media and all of those kind of things. And I just get a sense of people struggling. And I think, you know, you only have to look at Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and there's an undercurrent of people struggling, actually, and suffering quite a lot for all sorts of different reasons. And it comes out in really difficult ways, doesn't it? It comes out in anger, and it comes out in aggression and all of that. And I think sometimes I just want to say to people, where's the pain? You know, I want people to think about where the pain's coming from. We don't do that enough. And it's a question, I suppose, that connects to all of these three things that I try and ask myself more when I react in ways that aren't always very nice. Is, well, where is the pain? Where is it coming from? And
Yes.
where can I go? And to do the same for other people, to think, actually, I know why this person's reacting like this. It's not about this thing. It's about something else. It's about something very different, and helping people to get to that space, I think, is a really important thing. It isn't about solving things, is it? It's about sitting with that and saying, actually,
yes.
I get it. We're all in that situation. But there are three really important things, I think, for this time. How about for you, Harsha?
Yeah, very similar, actually. And I've been thinking obviously we've had time to think. Some of us have had more time than others to think, and I've spent a long time thinking about self-care, self-compassion, kindness, because I think I've been quite, and you and I have had a chat about this before, I haven't always been very kind to myself. And yeah, after so many years, I finally got a chance to think about that. And what I found is that, and I have started to keep a regular journal now. So every morning I'm writing in a journal, and I'm reflecting on how I'm feeling about things, and I'm finding it really helpful. So I'll just talk about whatever comes up in my head in the moment, and I'll start by asking myself, how am I? And then I'll then come up with whatever. I might have not slept too well, or I'm anxious about something that's happening in the day, or I'm thinking about my workload, and then I'll write about it. And it's somehow it's healing just to write about it, and just to have to actually gift myself with the space to be able to think about it, because it was self-indulgent. I used to think that writing, spending time on myself, was navel gazing or self-indulgent, and I just have a go at myself. And even meditation, I think, you don't have time for meditation, you've got work to do, you've got things to do. And so I think when you start being kinder to yourself, and gifting yourself with lightness in the day, just being really sort of determined about finding time in the day to rest, or to be in nature, or to meditate for 10 minutes, or to declutter. I mean, the things that make me feel light, I wasn't inviting them into my life enough, and I've started to do that. So on a personal and a professional level, I'm trying to live a life of kindness and compassion towards myself and towards others. And I think that I just feel as though, as I'm getting older, I want to be a better role model for people. There weren't many great role models for me when I was growing up, and I just think that, given the world that we're in, and it's a world where we're fighting a lot for things to be better for us, because we've all got our own challenges individually, and there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of frustration, there's bitterness, there's all sorts of sort of negative emotions. But I want to be a different kind of, for want of a better word, a different kind of leader, and I want to lead through a sense of compassion, that we can actually do things with love and compassion. And some people might laugh about it and think, how can you do that? But I think we can. I really do. I really think we can. And yeah, so they resonate with me quite profoundly. I hope it makes me a better person for it. So I think we're coming to the end of our discussion now, and so I'm going to hand it over to you, Kay, just to talk about some next steps in terms of the degree.
Yeah, so there is still time to apply if people want to. We do have a few places left, but you'd have to be very quick about that. So I would say if you are interested, or if you want to know more about the degree, if you're thinking of applying either this year or you want to apply next year, I would recommend that you email me. That's probably the best thing to do. Hopefully we can have the details up on the screen so you can get my email address. It's always useful, I think, to have a chat first about these things so we can make sure it's the right course for you, and that it actually fits your needs, and then talk through individual circumstances. We operate quite a flexible application process within the boundaries of the UCAS system. So there are opportunities where people haven't had the opportunity to take part in kind of formal qualifications and get A-levels. There are still opportunities to join this course through life experience. But there are always boxes to tick, so it's worth having that conversation so that your time isn't wasted and we can get you into the right place. So I would say definitely get in touch with me. You can check out the website as well. There's lots more information about the course, and the change makers and everyone who's connected with the course on there. You can find out more about the modules and all the different detail and the readings and that kind of thing. So take a look at the website, and we hope to see you on the course soon.
Brilliant, thanks Kay. So that brings us to the end of our discussion. We hope that you've enjoyed it, and we've certainly enjoyed having a chat. So thank you for watching from me.
Thank you very much.
And goodbye.
Bye.